David Brewer, you have a lot of experience in journalism, in editing. What are we doing here these days in Sarajevo?
The idea in Sarajevo is to get together a group of fairly senior journalists from across the whole CPEM region, Southeast European Professional Network of the Media, and to work with them to draw up a set of editorial guidelines that are there to help journalists cope with online media.
And how are we doing it?
We're breaking it into groups and we're looking at various topics like accuracy, fairness, privacy, taste, decency, integrity. And we're seeing where that applies to the work of journalists working online. I think the integrity of the journalism is important, and that comes down to whether the journalism is balanced, well-sourced, accurate and impartial.
You have a lot of experience. Where did you start, in short, and where do you think was the most important experience for you in your career?
Well, I started in newspapers and then went into radio and then television and then online. And I've been a journalist and manager in all four, and they've all played an important part. But my first training as a journalist in newspaper has been the rock, the foundation for me.
Mm-hmm. Also radio? Radio, BBC?
Yes.
CNN?
Yes.
Al Jazeera?
Yes.
Se pravi, to vse razumete, mislim, da to je gospod, ki ima veliko izkušenj na vseh teh večjih medijih. How long? 20 years?
20 years with the BBC, 2 with CNN. I was one of the managers who set up BBC News Online, and then I was the guy who built CNN Europe, Middle East and Africa. So a varied career.
But did you go to the out on the field also as a journalist?
Yes, I was. I worked as a reporter overseas many times, but my main work was UK based. But for the last 7 years, I've been working in transition post-conflict countries, or countries where there's limited freedom of expression, and I've been working there trying to establish independent media.
Se pravi, deluje tudi na terenu, ampak zadnjih 7 let se ukvarja bolj z novinarstvom in z etiko novinarsko v deželah, ki so v tranziciji, post-tranziciji, which is probably hard work.
It's stimulating. It's hard but stimulating because the journalists in those regions are probably some of the most brave journalists I've ever worked with.
Do you know Slovenian media? Do you know Slovenia?
No, not really. I've not worked in Slovenia. I've been on many trips to Slovenia. My honeymoon was in Slovenia. I've climbed Triglav. I've been to Bokin, Bled, Kranjska Gora. But my main work's been in Serbia, in Macedonia, some in Croatia, and a little bit in Montenegro.
But mostly you educate now journalists.
Yes, more media strategy and media ethics. I don't really do training on how to create stories. I leave that to others. I work with media businesses to try to make them sustainable, and work with senior journalists on the ethics of media.
Do you think it's a problem, objectivity in reporting, in journalism?
Yes.
How does, se pravi, misli, da je težava ravno v tem, objektivnosti medijev? Because of political influence, because of...
Because people are people. It's very hard. We're all human beings. We all have stuff in our lives that have made us think the way we think. It's very difficult to be impartial, objective, fair, balanced. It's very difficult. It's not really in human nature, is it?
Yes. How do you think this group that came here to Sarajevo works?
It's amazing, isn't it? It's like the United Nations. We have 16 people from 12 countries in this region. We have a woman from Romania working with a guy from Moldova. We have people from Albania working with people from all over the region, with Macedonia, Montenegro, Serbia, Bosnia-Herzegovina, Croatia. It's just amazing. Hungary, Bulgaria. You just list those. You've got to translate that, but it's amazing. It's United Nations of journalists.
What is the purpose of this course? Kaj namen tega druženja tukaj v Sarajevu?
The purpose of the course is to work with people like you and other journalists from the region to build a capacity for them to train others and to produce a handbook that will help guide young journalists who are just starting off navigate some of the difficult issues that are ethical issues that online journalism faces.
Se pravi, na kratko, tukaj smo se zbrali zato, da se med seboj pogovarjamo o tem, kakšne so naše izkušnje in da lahko potem te izkušnje naprej prenesemo med novinarje, ki jih nekako tudi treniramo, oziroma pač osnovna ideja je, da smo se tukaj zbrali uredniki različnih medijev z različnih koncev Evrope s tem namenom, da se kaj novega naučimo in da v bistvu izdelamo en tak priročnik za vse te novinarje. But this is a long-term project. We are going to meet again in December and then again in next year.
Yes.
How is it going to work?
There'll be one more meeting in December and we'll continue on working online together in a collaborative way where we work with each other on fine-tuning the guidelines we're building based on adding real-life experiences so that it's not just theory, it's practical. People can relate to it. So we'll be doing a lot of work online through a distance learning course called Moodle, and we'll be working together.
This is going to be other people will be able to use this what we're doing here.
Oh, of course, that's the point. We will produce probably a website which will be updated probably every 2 years, but we'll produce a handbook, a hard copy, which will be distributed throughout the region, which people can refer to.
Se pravi, izdelali bomo tudi spletno stran in kasneje tudi en tak priročnik v fizični obliki, ki bo dosegljiv za vse novinarje po celem svetu in ga boste lahko tudi vi brali. Okay, you have plane leaving today?
Yes, just after lunch.
Se pravi, kmalu odhaja gospod Brewer, se poslavlja, mi ostajamo še kakšen dan in se vidimo zopet decembra. So we'll meet again in December.
Yes.
Until then we'll work hard on this project.
Thank you.
Thank you.